Donald Trump clashed with the Democratic governor of Maine, Janet Mills, today over federal funds he threatened to withhold from the state over transgender athletes participating in girls' and women's sports. Trump was addressing Democratic and Republican governors at the state dining room at the White House when he mentioned his recent executive order banning trans athletes from playing women's sports. He then called on Maine's governor and asked her if the state will comply, prompting Mills to object.
But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine?
Well, down here.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
Trump has rallied against and belittled transgender athletes whilst on the campaign trail. His recently signed executive order has been praised by supporters, saying it will restore fairness, but critics say the directive infringes on the rights of a tiny minority of athletes. Out of 510,000 athletes competing at the collegiate level, there are fewer than 10 who publicly identify as transgender, the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, said back in January. Trump is relying on the federal education department to achieve the directive's goal through a revised interpretation of federal civil rights law. Schools that do not follow these laws can lose federal funding. The Maine Principals Association said 2 weeks ago it would continue to allow transgender girl and women athletes to compete despite Trump's order. Shortly after Friday's confrontation, the Education Department said in a press release its Civil Rights Office is launching an investigation of the Maine Department of Education over potential violations of Title IX, which protects against sex discrimination in education. Today's threatening and abusive rhetoric is not the first time that Trump has attacked Maine over the issue. He threatened to withhold federal money from the state if it did not comply with his order during separate remarks at a Republican Governors Association meeting on Thursday. Mills responded to the White House exchange in a statement on Friday, saying her state will not be intimidated by the president's threats. If the president attempts to unilaterally deprive Maine school children of the benefit of federal funding, my administration and the Attorney General will take all appropriate and necessary legal action to restore that funding and the academic opportunity it provides, the statement said. More than 24 states already bar transgender athletes from participating in school sports, whether in K-12 schools or at the collegiate level. Transgender people make up less than 1% of adults in the United States, according to the Williams Institute at the UCLA School of Law, which studies LGBTQ issues.
So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with Midas Touch.